Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook is suing President Donald Trump over his attempts to remove her. Trump demanded her firing, accusing Cook of misrepresenting mortgage documents. But federal officials can only be dismissed for cause, not over policy differences. Trump has also threatened to fire former Fed Chair Jerome Powell amid pressure for faster interest rate cuts. Aya Ibrahim, a former White House economic advisor, says Cook is caught up in Trump's broader efforts to control all government branches. Joining me now for this discussion is global policy analyst Alexander von Rugen. Thank you very much for being here. Trump pushing Powell, the chair, and Lisa Cook, governor of the Federal Reserve, to resign.
Yes, it's all about interest rates. To be fair, the Federal Reserve is sacred ground. It's supposed to run independent of politics. In fact, that's what gives the U.S. dollar its stability. So when you politicize it for election promises or to show that your policies are lowering interest rates or lowering inflation, it's a manipulation of the system, and that's very dangerous right now, what's going on.
Okay, there are comments here and there that there's some racial coloring. So does the fact that Lisa Cook is the first Afro-American woman to be appointed to that role have anything to do with the request for resignation? I mean, there seems to be a disagreement as to the reason why Trump is pushing for her to leave.
Well, I think the optics here can be very confusing, but in terms of this being a racial issue, I don't believe so. Lisa was appointed by Biden back in 2022, so she's basically a youngster as a governor of the Federal Reserve. I think of the 7 governors, one of them, Adriana, resigned recently, which left room for Trump to put a new appointee in, which will be a Republican pick. 2 other of the 7 governors are Republican as well, even though Powell appears to be a Republican, was actually appointed by Obama back in 2011. I think she's a victim of being low-hanging fruit. They've done a background check on her, and they found some irregularities on a mortgage application she made in Michigan and then moving to Georgia, and they're citing mortgage fraud as the cause for her dismissal, because although the president appoints the governors and the head of the chair of the Federal Reserve, he can only fire them with cause. So in this particular case, Ms. Cook is fighting it and threatening legal action for wrongful dismissal, which is her right to do if, in fact, these charges are false.
What are the global economic implications? Should Trump take control of the Federal Reserve?
That's very dangerous. As I've indicated, the Federal Reserve, although it's a government entity, it's a separate and distinct entity within the government. And its mandate to run independently using long-term economic data and monetary policy as opposed to short-term political pressure. That stabilizes the U.S. dollar. The U.S. dollar is the global currency by which all other currencies are traded against. It's important to note that as soon as Trump started making threats to dismiss Powell, the U.S. dollar dropped internationally against other currencies, and there was a sell-off of American bonds. It's in the billions of dollars when one makes a comment like this. So, as I said, the Federal Reserve is supposed to be sacred ground, running independently, dictating American policy to take the company and take the country and the dollar value in the long term. It's important to note, too, a president has a 4-year term. Governors of the Federal Reserve are appointed for 14 years. much like Supreme Court judges who have lifetime appointments. That was also interesting to note because Trump has been systematically taking control of all government departments that interact with each other and allow him to dictate these executive orders without opposition. The federal judiciary, the Supreme Court, for example, has 6 Republican-appointed judges as opposed to 3 Democrat. We have the Department of Defense, which now saw dismissal of 6 high-ranking generals for Pete Hegseth, as well as generals friendly to the Republican cause. The FBI is run by Kash Patel, a Republican. The Department of Justice, run by Pam Bondi, a devout Republican. So you can see where this is going. And I give Ms. Cook kudos for trying to stand up for her rights and fighting it, because although the Constitution says she can't be fired without cause, there are reasons and cases being created here, which have happened before. Trump was up against the Attorney General of New York State that went after him in his pre-election, citing criminal activity in his real estate empire.
So if she's protected by the Constitution, why is she suing then?
Well, because the government, Trump, is claiming that she's being fired with cause regarding improprieties in a mortgage application. She claimed her principal residence was in Michigan, and then sometime later she claimed a principal residence in Georgia. Now, she may have just moved. I mean, that happens. I can't comment on that. I think the facts will come out before the courts, and a judge will have to decide.